Thank you for watching this video about the OPT STEM extension. OPT STEM is a great opportunity given to students with certain majors to extend the time of their OPT workshop authorization for up to 2 additional years. In this video, we will be talking about the important information that you need to know before applying for OPT STEM. First, let's talk about what OPT STEM extension is. OPT stands for Optional Practical Training. This is a 12-month period in which the government will authorize students in F1 status to gain practical work experience on their most recent degree. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Students who have gained their degree in one of these fields can apply for an additional 24 months of work authorization. This means that a student graduating from bachelor's degree or higher can work up to 3 years at a job that relates to his or her program of study. You're probably wondering if you're eligible for OPT STEM, so let's take a look. To check if you're eligible, take the following steps. First, check the STEM designated degree program list. Second, check the CIP code on your I-20. Third, be actively on OPT. And fourth, work for an employer that is registered with the E-Verify system with the USCIS. We will explain these steps one by one. Let's take a look at how we can find the STEM designated degree program list. To find the STEM designated degree program list, one must simply look up the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement website. This website can be found simply by using Google resource. By typing in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as the ICE website. Once you open the ICE website, you will see a search bar at the top right corner. Simply type STEM designated degree. You will want to open the STEM designated degree program list PDF. Once you open the PDF file, you will see on the right side a list of majors and then on the left a list of CIP codes. Now, let's learn how to check your CIP code. Let's take a look at our I-20. On the first page, you will see Program of Study. Here you have information like your level of education and your major. Under your major, you will see a series of numbers. The numbers are called your CIP code. You can now take the PDF found on the ICE website and compare your code to the list. The third step to checking your STEM OPT eligibility is being actively on OPT. This means that you have applied for and received your OPT employment authorization card and it has not yet expired. The fourth step is to simply be working for an employer that is registered in the E-Verify system with the USCIS. How do you know if you're working for an E-Verify employer? Check the website www.uscis.gov.everify, or you can simply ask your employer. Now, let's take a look at how you can apply for the STEM extension. To apply for your STEM extension, you must first set up an appointment with your International Student Advisor. They can be found at the International Student Center. You will need to bring your required documents. To see what documents are required, please visit the Liberty University International Student Center page and click on the OPT STEM extension page. When you meet with your International Student Advisor, they will go over the documents with you, they will recommend you for the STEM extension, and they will create a new I-20 for you. The International Student Advisor will give you the package for you to mail to the USCIS. Once they receive your application, it will take about 90 days to process. Once it is approved, they will send you an OPT card. You may apply up to 90 days before the end date of your current OPT. You may be wondering whether you still need to report your International Student Advisor when you are on the STEM extension program. So let's take a look. Yes, reporting to your International Advisor during your STEM extension is very important. First, you must report any changes to your name or US address within 10 days. Second, you must report any changes of employment within 10 days. Third, you must complete a mandatory report check-in in every 6 months. And fourth, you must submit a formal training plan, Form 983, before the STEM OPT extension application can be processed. The training plan will be filled out by the student and signed by the student and the employer. It may need to be submitted to the USCIS as a part of your STEM OPT extension filing. It will be subject to DHS review and will be a required part of the immigration record process. Lastly, you must submit an evaluation at the 12 and 24-month periods. The evaluation will be subject to DHS review and will be a required part of the immigration record. Next, we will be going over some frequently asked questions on the OPT STEM extension. Let's take a look. Can I work after my original OPT period expires if I have a pending application for STEM OPT extension with the USCIS? Yes, students may continue to work up to 180 days after the end date of their post-completion OPT EAD, as long as they have submitted a STEM OPT extension request before the original OPT expiration date and it is pending review by the USCIS. What is the minimum number of hours I can work each week? Students must work at least 20 hours per week while on the STEM OPT extension. Is it possible to work multiple jobs on STEM OPT extension? Yes! Each employer must fully comply with the requirements for the I-983 and employ the student for no less than 20 hours per week. What type of work are not allowed on the STEM extension OPT? 1. Volunteer or unpaid work. 2. Employment through employment agencies. And 3. Self-employment. What about startups? If you have a startup, there must be someone in the company that can serve as a supervisor and train you in the STEM field that you have studied as a part of your work. The company must also fit all the government requirements to be a STEM OPT eligible employer. How does applying for STEM OPT extension affect my travel plans? F1 regulations allow students participating in OPT to travel abroad, but there may be additional risks and/or additional documentations to prepare. Liberty University is unable to guarantee that students will be granted entrance by Customs and Border Protection upon return to the US, or that the consulate will renew an F1 visa. Although not common, there are reports of students on OPT having problems at ports of entry as well as being denied visas or experiencing significant visa delays. The decision to travel abroad must be made by the individual student with an understanding of the preparations that should be made and the risks involved. If travel must be done while on OPT, F1 regulation requires that the student present the following document to the Customs Border Protection upon re-entry. Passport valid at least 6 months into the future from the date of re-entry. A valid F1 visa stamp. An I-20 containing the OPT recommendation and a travel signature less than 6 months old. An unexpired EAD card. And a proof that the student is returning to resume employment. This can be in the form of a job letter or a letter written on a letterhead from the student supervisor confirming the employment. However, a pay stub or other documentation showing intent to return to work may be sufficient for a Customs Border Protection officer. What if I have changes to my training plan? If you need to make material changes to your training plan, you and your employer must both sign the modified version of the training plan and file the updated version with your international student advisor as soon as possible. Material changes may include, for example, a significant decrease in hours per week that you will be engaging in the practical training, or a reduction in compensation without a reduction in hours worked. Will my training be evaluated during my STEM OPT extension opportunity? Yes. You and your employer need to sign your self-evaluation on an annual basis. You will be required to do a midpoint evaluation during the first 12 months interval of your STEM OPT extension and a final self-evaluation prior to the conclusion of your STEM OPT extension. If I decide to finish my OPT STEM extension early, do I still need to do the final evaluation? Yes, even if you finish your OPTs early, you must submit both evaluations. How does the new STEM OPT extension rule change the total number of unemployment days allowed? Student awarded the 24-month or permanent 60 days of unemployment in addition to the 90 days allowed on the initial 12-month period of OPT. Any unused unemployment days from the original 12-month of OPT can be added to the STEM period, allowing a maximum of 150 days of unemployment for STEM students. What counts as time unemployed? Each day, including weekends, during the period when OPT authorization begins and ends that the student does not have qualifying employment counts as a day of unemployment. Authorization begins on the employment start date shown on the student's EAD card. As a STEM OPT extension participant, am I required to pay Federal Insurance Contribution Act taxes for Social Security and Medicare? F1 students are not subjected to Social Security and Medicare contribution for the first 5 years that they reside in the United States. As a participant in the STEM OPT, you are not considered a resident for federal tax purposes as long as you comply with the requirements of your F1 visa and have not already held F1 status for more than 5 years. What about the cap gap extension? Student with a timely filed H-1B petition and a request for a change of status may apply to receive a cap gap extension of their F1 status. If applicable, students' F1 status and OPT employment authorization are automatically extended until the first day of the new fiscal year, or until a decision is made on their case, whichever comes first. For more information, contact your International Student Advisor in the International Student Center by calling 434-592-4118 or email mystatus@liberty.edu.